Do you want to listen better and understand more? Or you want to learn new words faster? Do you know how to speak clearly and improve your English pronunciation? And speak like a native speaker? If yes, welcome to the new video on Go English Stories channel. In today's video, I'm going to explore a common misconception about improving your speaking skills. Here's the real secret to better English speaking. Many people think that to speak better, you need to speak more. But what if I told you that this approach is actually holding you back? In this video, I'll show you the real key to becoming a better English speaker. Here's the misconception. Let's start by addressing the elephant in the room. Many English learners hold the belief that, to improve your speaking skills, you need to practice speaking as much as possible. It seems logical, right? After all, we've all heard, practice makes perfect. But when it comes to language learning, this approach may be the very thing that is holding you back. Many learners fall into the trap of thinking that more talking equals better speaking, so they join conversation clubs, look for language exchange partners, and try to talk as much as possible. While some of these activities can be helpful to a certain degree, they're not the most effective way to improve your speaking skills. So, here's the truth about language acquisition. To understand why speaking more isn't always the answer, we need to look at how language acquisition actually works. When we learn our first language as children, we don't start by speaking, we start by listening. For months, even years, for most of us, a year and a half, we absorb the sounds, rhythms, and patterns of our native language before we even say our very first word. This process is called the silence period, and it's a crucial phase in language development. During this period, our brains are hard at work processing and internalizing the language that we hear around us. We're building a foundation of useful language patterns that will later allow us to speak naturally and fluently. The same principle applies when you're learning a second language. By focusing on listening, you're giving your brain the raw material it needs to construct a solid understanding of English. This foundation is essential for natural, fluent speech. Without the proper foundation, it's very difficult to build proper communication skills. So, what are the benefits of listening? Now, let's dive into the specific ways that listening can improve your speaking skills. It expands your vocabulary. When you listen to native speakers, you're exposed to a wide range of words and phrases used in context. This helps you learn new vocabulary more effectively than memorizing long lists of words. You will actually pick up idiomatic expressions, colloquialisms, and nuanced words that don't appear in English textbooks. It improves your pronunciation. Listening to native speakers allows you to internalize the correct pronunciation of words and sentences. You'll start to recognize the subtle differences in sounds that might not exist in your native language. Over time, this exposure will naturally improve your own pronunciation. It enhances your intonation and rhythm. English has a unique rhythm and melody that can be challenging for non-native speakers to master, but by listening attentively, you'll start to pick up these patterns unconsciously. This will make your speech sound much more natural and less foreign. It helps you learn grammar in context. While you may have learned grammar rules in school, hearing how native speakers use these rules in real conversations is much more valuable. You'll start to develop an intuitive understanding of grammar that goes beyond memorizing rules. It builds cultural understanding. Language and culture are very much connected and intertwined. By listening to native speakers, you'll gain insights into cultural norms, humor, and social cues that are essential for effective conversation. It improves your comprehension. The more you listen, the better you'll become at understanding spoken English, which is crucial for maintaining fluent conversations. After all, you need to understand your conversation partner in order to respond appropriately. That's why speaking too much without listening is not the best approach. Not good, because when you get an answer to a question and you don't understand the answer, how can you reply? How can you make a correct response only by learning to listen well? Can you do that? Here are some of the dangers of speaking too much. Let's address why just focusing on speaking can actually hurt you more than it can help you. By speaking more, you can be reinforcing mistakes. If you speak without a solid foundation, you risk reinforcing incorrect patterns, poor pronunciation, and poor use of grammar. Unless you're getting feedback, you cannot change these practices. Practice does not make perfect. If the practice is imperfect, it's much harder to unlearn these mistakes later. Because of limited input, not allowing yourself to listen more when you're always talking means you're not allowing yourself to learn from others. You're limiting your exposure to new vocabulary, expressions, and ways of constructing sentences. You also risk becoming a chatterbox. Constant talking without listening can turn you into what we call a chatterbox. This is someone who talks excessively without regard for the other person's input or interest. In many cultures, including English-speaking ones, this behavior is considered rude and can put people off. Unless you practice active listening, your conversation will not have depth. depth. Without sufficient listening practice, your speaking also lacks depth and nuance. You might be able to express basic ideas, but struggle with more complex or subtle communication. Because you're so busy speaking, you reduce your cultural awareness, and speaking without listening can lead to cultural misunderstandings or faux pas, as you're not picking up on important social cues and norms. Balance your listening and speaking. Now, that doesn't mean you should never speak, but remember, conversation is really a two-way street, and speaking practice is important. The key is to find the right balance. So, here's how to do that. Prioritize listening, especially if your speaking is not that great. Make a conscious effort to listen more than you speak. When you're in a conversation, focus on truly understanding the other person, rather than just waiting for your turn to talk. Practice active listening techniques. This means fully concentrating on what's being said, asking clarifying questions, and providing feedback to show you're engaged. Here's how you can learn the shadowing technique. Try a technique called shadowing, where you repeat what a native speaker says immediately after hearing it. This is good practice when you're not having an actual conversation. Listen to a podcast, and then, when you hear a sentence, listen to it a few times, learn to say it, and try to mimic what the podcast speaker is saying. This helps you practice your pronunciation and intonation while you still focus on listening. Learn reflective speaking. After listening to someone speak, Try to summarize or paraphrase what they said. This ensures that you fully understand, and it gives you speaking practice based on what you've heard. Create thoughtful responses when you do speak. Take a moment to collect your thoughts. It's better to speak less, but more meaningfully, than to fill the conversation with unnecessary chatter. Here are some practical ways to improve your listening skills. Listen to English language podcasts on topics that interest you. These are not necessarily podcasts about improving your English. If you're interested in fishing, listen to podcasts about fishing. If you're interested in business, listen to business podcasts. Start with slower, clearer speakers and gradually move to more challenging content. Find content that you can understand 60 to 70% of, and then let your brain figure out what the other 30 or 40% is about. TV shows and movies can also be useful. Watch English language shows and movies initially with subtitles in your native language, then with English subtitles, and finally without subtitles. Your goal should be to learn to watch English movies and TV shows without subtitles. That's how you can really improve your listening skills. Otherwise, you're just learning to read very quickly. Audiobooks are excellent. Listen to audiobooks, especially those narrated by native speakers. This will expose you to a wide range of vocabulary and narrative styles. News broadcasts. Watch or listen to English language news. News presenters typically have clear pronunciation and use a wide range of vocabulary. Music. Listen to English language music and try to understand the lyrics. This can be very difficult because singers may slur their words, speed over certain words, or cut off the sounds of others, but it's still very useful. It can be a fun way to pick up on colloquial expressions and improve your ability to understand connected speech. Find conversation partners. It's still useful when you practice with a conversation partner. Make a conscious effort to listen more than you speak, ask questions, and show genuine interest in what they're saying. Transcription practice. Try transcribing short audio clips. This forces you to listen carefully to every word and can significantly improve your listening comprehension. Listen to diverse accents. Expose yourself to different accents. This will improve your ability to understand many types of English speakers, not just those who have a native accent. In conclusion, while it might seem counterintuitive, the path to better English speaking lies primarily in better listening. By immersing yourself in the language through active listening, you can improve your overall language skills significantly. Listening will naturally improve your vocabulary, your pronunciation, fluency, and cultural understanding. Remember, conversation is indeed a two-way street. By becoming a better listener, you will not only improve your own listening skills but also become a more engaging and appreciated conversation partner. You will avoid the pitfall of becoming a chatterbox and instead develop the ability to communicate effectively and meaningfully. So, the next time you're tempted to seek out more opportunities just to speak, pause and ask yourself, have I done enough listening today? Your journey to fluent, natural English starts with your ears, not your mouth. Happy listening, and watch as your speaking skills soar. Have you downloaded the Helm News app? Helm. It's a platform that helps language learners build fluency with 700+ fresh, daily stories on topics like sports, gaming, and culture. Instant translations and native audio for pronunciation. A clean, ad-free interface designed for focus. You will definitely love this app when you use it. Try it today. Check the link in the description below to subscribe with a discount code. If you have found this video helpful, please like and subscribe to our channel for more learning tips. In the comments below, let me know how you are using these ideas to improve your listening skills. And remember, the next time you're having a conversation in English, challenge yourself to listen more than you speak. Your future English-speaking self will thank you later. Thank you for joining us and see you in the next video.